If the sports gods exist, this ground ball will go through Bill Buckner's legs down the first base line, and the Mets will complete a miraculous comeback that sends them into Game 7, where they will eventually win. If the sports gods exist, Eli Manning will get out of a sure sack on 3rd and 17 against the New England Patriots and complete a miraculous completion at midfield to David Tyree. And the Giants will eventually go on to win the Super Bowl. If the sports gods exist, Ray Allen will hit a three-pointer in the corner after Greg Popovich took out Tim Duncan. And where he would have been standing, the rebound came exactly right there. And because he wasn't there, Chris Bosh will get the rebound, kick it back to Ray Allen. He'll hit a three to tie the game, send it into overtime, where the Miami Heat will eventually win that game and go on to win the championship. And if the sports gods exist, the Boston Celtics will complete the first 0-3 deficit in NBA history and come back and go to the NBA Finals with a win in Game 7. This is Heaven Hollywood. Welcome to the Sports FanaTAKE. And what we witnessed last night is one of those times where the sports gods interrupted our plans to South Beach. They interrupted us going to Game 3 in South Beach of the NBA Finals. And you'll say, Heaven, that was just Game 6. That could still happen. Miami could win a Game 7 in Boston. Yeah, they could if the sports gods didn't exist. Usually, after that game last night, how many people felt as though that was Game 7? If you did not keep track of the series, the way the Boston Celtics were celebrating and the way the Miami Heat looked absolutely shocked and dejected, you would have thought that was Game 7. That's because it was. It was. When the ball went through Bill Buckner's legs down the first baseline in 1986 World Series, I still get chills to this day thinking about it. I'm fighting back tears right now as I'm bringing it up. Being a lifelong Met fan. That's a year I'll never forget. That's the year my grandfather passed away, who was also a lifelong Met fan. He got a chance to see the Mets win their last World Series. He got a chance to witness it. That was the last time the Mets won the World Series. And him as a lifelong Met fan, I was happy that before they laid him to rest, he got a chance to see his beloved Mets win a World Series. But that was Game 6. But when things like that happen, when the sports gods interrupt your plans, it might as well be Game 7. The Mets went on in Game 7 Even though they fell behind 2-0 again, they end up making that comeback and winning the World Series. Eli Manning, that play to David Tyree, that was only third down, and they got that in midfield. The Patriots still could have stopped the Giant from getting into the end zone because the Giants still needed a touchdown. But you knew they weren't going to stop them after that. You just knew it. When things like that happen, when the sports gods say, not yet. Not today. It's not your time. When they come in and say that, you might as well chalk it up. Ray Allen hit that shot. It felt like it was Game 7 of the NBA Finals. It was only Game 6. But the circumstances in which he was able to hit that three-point shot, that game was basically over. They had the ropes coming down in Miami. They had the ropes coming down. They thought that the San Antonio Spurs champagne was on ice in their locker room. The trophies were going to be wheeled out to the floor. And then when Ray Allen hit that shot, he turned to security and said, "Get them ropes out of here." And you just knew that the Miami Heat were going to win Game 7. Because the team is shell-shocked that the sports gods somehow interrupted their plans. Tomorrow night, when the Boston Celtics are back home in the Boston Gardens, in the Fleet Center, whatever it's called, TD, I believe it's TD now. The TD Center. I believe they're going to win big tomorrow. Now, rooting for the Miami Heat, I'm hoping that they're able to snatch things back, interrupt the sports gods' plans. It's hard to do. It's hard to do. It's been very rare that situations happen like what happened last night, and then the recipient of the miracle usually goes on to close it out the next game. When victory is snatched from the jaws of defeat. Usually the team that's the recipient of that go on to close the deal the next game. Now, there has been a couple of times. I'm sure that a team that was supposed to be dead and buried pulled off a miraculous win to send it to Game 7, and then they end up getting closed out the next game. I'm sure it's happened. I can't think of it right now of a time. If you guys can think of a time where it looked as though something happened and you said, "Oh yeah, that happened," they're definitely winning now. And then they end up getting closed out the next game. You can let me know of a time. I can't think of one right now, but I'm sure it's happened. So if the sports gods exist, you can expect the Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets to be tipping it off June 1st in Denver. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Are the sports gods going to be right again? Have the sports gods once again interrupted the plans? It's your boy Heaven Hollywood for the IE Network.